me, I want you to talk about submission. I gave that little kind of lame example, but talk about when your wife, as a P31, has a business mind on something, or maybe something, and she tells you, no, King, this is how it goes. Do you consider that to be a problem in marriage? Or how do you handle that as a man who is in a marriage that's male centered, so to speak?
Well, that happens. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you that don't happen. Like everything ain't always just peaches and cream and perfect over here. As far as when it go, you know, those moments happen. You know what I mean? And then I have to know when to tuck my tail, and they have to know when to tuck their tail. I won't speak on something unless I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And then at that moment, you're gonna have to just roll with what it is that I'm saying. You know what I mean? I haven't been, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I haven't been, and I'm just saying for me, like if I don't know it, I'm not gonna speak on it. I'm not about to go outside and I'm not the super duper man. I don't know nothing about no cars. I'm not gonna go tell no man how to drop no engine in no car. I don't know how to do that. I'm not about, I know about sports, but I'm not gonna talk about history and who won in 1993, this, that. I don't, you know what I mean? That's not me. I only talk about what I know, and what I know it. And when I'm standing firm on that, yes, you just gotta follow my lead. However, there are many things that, like, Anya, she's been, as long as I've been with her, she's handled everything for me. You know what I mean? As far as all of the technical things, the everything, like, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? She's excellent at that. And then the most I bring into my life, and she's excellent in the areas that she's excellent in. And when in those areas where they excellent in, you know what I mean? That's what they there for. You know what I mean? So, but then there's times where, yes, I do have to stand firm and say, this is what it's going to be. And when I say this is what it's going to be, I've never they never fight back with me and tell me, no, this is what it's going to be. No, you're going to do it. Like they never said nothing like that to me. And it's only because they may have wanted to, you know what I'm saying? They may have wanted to at a certain time, but we really don't get into those types of things. They trust me. If they didn't, they wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So they trust me in those areas. And for any man, to answer your question, the man is the head. But like I said, man, you ain't gonna, you got you a good woman, brother. If you don't understand that woman gonna take you further than what you gonna take yourself, that's just a fact. I stand on that. Like, a woman can take you further than what you gonna take yourself as a man. You know what I mean? And most men don't have that barometer of discernment in their relationships. A lot of men, I ain't gonna say most, a lot of men don't, but we was never taught it. So sisters, y'all have to be understanding of that as well, because we didn't have no men in the house. See, y'all sisters, y'all had women, most women had women role models in their life to some degree. If your mother wasn't there, you had auntie, you had somebody in your grandmama, you had somebody there in the house that you could look at and model yourself after. Most of us men, when it comes down to modeling yourself as after a man in a household, we don't know that. We never was shown that. So we have to learn that through trial and error. And women are going to have to, because guess what? That man, that's your son. That man that you're dealing with, if that's your son. If your son father is not in his life, and if he is in his life, but he's not he ain't together all the way, you know what I mean? So he really can't give your son the jewels. Guess what? That man that you talking about, that's your son. Because he's going to have to learn how to be a man the same way we all learn, and that's through trial and error. So understand that these are the dynamics in the Black community that has destroyed us. So we can't be against each other. We have to understand as men what has happened to our women, and our women as women have to understand what has happened to us as men, and then we have to be adults and come to the table and sit down and work through these things to be better for one another. And that's going to take a lot of understanding, a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of selflessness. You know what I mean? It's going to take a lot of selflessness. So again, you know, if that woman is saying no, then maybe that man should, okay, don't get offended. Don't let your bravado or your ego kick in. Let's figure out why you saying no. Why do you see it the way that you see it? And then weigh it and then see if it, because ultimately she's your helpmeet. She might have been given you know, an inside scoop to the spirit of which way it should go right now. So if you cut her off and tell her no, you could be cutting off your own reward and your own path to success in whatever it is that she's addressing. So, you know, it's the discernment, it's the trust factor. And I believe that if the two work together and both know when to give in to one another, then you should be all right in that area, man. But this ain't no, you know, forget polygyny. Monogamous relationships are not working. It's more failed monogamous. The divorce rate is because of monogamous relationships. So
Preach.
how you gonna knock polygyny when the divorce rate is at an all-time high in monogamy?
Speak your speech.